White. We have the legendary Canelo, Bud Crawford, and the great Tom Brady. So, guys, we know that the fight is coming up, so we're going to ask you a few questions. I hope you don't mind. So, Bud, you've won at 135, 140, 147, and 154. You never fought at 168. You think you have enough power to hurt the great Canelo?
Of course. I don't have to have enough power to hurt him. I just got to beat him. That's it. If he slip up, then, he will get hurt.
So, Canelo, Terence is naturally the smaller fighter, quicker, more agile, but he does have a 4-inch reach advantage over you. How do you plan on dealing with this?
I've been in this sport like so many years. I had so many good fights in my career, and I had the experience to adapt myself to these kind of fighters. I fight everybody out there, every style, and I'm gonna do my job and put all my experience, all my talent there, and that's it.
And speaking of experience, he also has experience.
Yeah.
What can you do that 41 other fighters could not do?
I'm different. I'm a elite fighter. So that's the difference, big difference.
How long have you guys, obviously thinking about this fight and then fighting another great fighter like Canelo and like Bud? How long has this fight been in the making?
No, I never thinking about the fight Crawford. I never in my life, because he's a low weight than me. So, but I never thinking about it. But that's the fun part of boxing. You never know what is gonna happen, right? And now we are here. And I'm glad to share the ring with one of the best fighters out there, and I just can't wait.
So even though you see a small fighter, when you look in his eyes, do you see a fighter that could possibly beat you?
No, never.
So,
Never.
So he will never beat you?
Obviously he's a special fighter. He's a good fighter, but that's why they are good weight classes, right? And we're gonna find out September.
Go ahead, Dana.
I've been a big fan of boxing since I was a kid. I wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for boxing. For this to be the first boxing match that I'm involved in promoting is an absolute honor. Two of the greatest of all time and one of the biggest fights ever in the history of the sport. So very, very proud moment for me, and I've done a lot of things in my career.
How do you see the TKO Boxing League being and evolving over time, and what you hope, obviously you getting involved in boxing and this being your first fight, how do you see it evolving over time?
Yeah, well, I've had a lot of criticisms of the sport over the last 30 years. The way that I'm looking at this is I'm going to start building from the ground up, looking for young talent, up-and-coming guys, putting on fights sort of UFC style, from the first fight of the night to the main event, stacking the card, with the best talent possible, changing the live event, changing the production of the show, and Shake Turkey has a lot of things in the works already over the next 16 to 18 months. These type of fights with superstars like these guys. But I'm looking at rebuilding the sport. Literally, this guy is the only guy in the history of the sport that is actually invested in it. Most of these guys just take. Shake Turkey in the last 2 years has invested more money in the sport of boxing than every promoter throughout history. So I'm looking at this thing completely different than anybody ever has.
He told me something yesterday that I thought was very profound. He said, every event I do, I lose money, but I just love these guys and I just love the sport. So
I think
big kudos to him.
Yeah, I think for any sports fan, you want to see the best fight the best, and it doesn't matter what sport it is. I think that's what UFC's done such a great job. When I look at the NBA, it's the great teams against the great teams. It's the great fighters against one another. And then that brings everyone's attention to it. And that's what you want to see. You want to see the best in what's been accomplished and what he's done and what Bud's done, and say, all right, let's see what happens. That's the excitement of sports. People want to see greatness, and they want to see greatness go against other greatness and see who wins.
But let's go to the future. How would you like this fight to end? I need it played by.
He's a good fighter, a great fighter. I always say before I see him calling me out and want the fight and everything, I say before he's a great fighter. But if you look at his career, mention one elite fighter. Just mention me one elite fighter.
So Postal wasn't elite?
Who?
Victor Postal.
Who's that guy?
Oh, so he wasn't commercialized. He wasn't a great. Ricky Burns wasn't elite.
What? 40 years old champion in that moment beat Mr. Postal in my gym. I saw that.
So Ricky Burns wasn't elite.
Ricky Burns doesn't elite.
Okay.
He's not elite.
It's cool. Is
there a champion?
I'm going to fight another elite
There is
fighter
a champions,
in September.
good fighters, but elite fighters is different. Wait.
So I'm going to fight an elite fighter in September.
Yeah, okay.
Then we're
going to find out.
Then we're going to find out.
And don't get me wrong, you're a great fighter.
I know I'm great.
You're a great fighter. But are you going to find out? I hope your uncle Turki Alashi pay you enough money because it's going to be the last. That's for sure.
It may be. Maybe.
I hope he pay you enough.
But after fighters fight me, they never the same. So I just hope your career continue.
If you look my career, never same after me. Never same.
But if you had Canelo's resume, you think they would consider you an all-time great?
Canelo got a great resume. I'm not going to take it away from him. He's fought a lot of great champions. But, at the age that he fought them in, they was already on a decline, some of them, and when he didn't, you see what happened. He fought Laura, and I thought Laura beat him. He fought, Mayweather. You see what happened. He fought Bivol when he went up and tried to be great like I'm doing, and he came up short. When he fought my boy from Texas, they gave him problems, but it is what it is. I got the style, I got the skills, I got the heart, and I'm not gonna sit around and play no games with Canelo, because he's not gonna play no games with me, and it's gonna be a good fight, and I'm excited.
Always wanted to ask a fighter this. The matchup is taking place. How long do you hold that animosity? Does it, like, if it's announced in November, are you keeping that animosity in November, or do you chill out like a week, or does it start when you enter into training camp?
It's no animosity towards Canelo at all. I'm a fan of Canelo. I've been watching him for a long time, and for me it's just business, but it's the competitive nature in me to get like right now, I'm just ready. I'm ready to go train and just prove the world wrong. Like I've been doing my whole career. All the doubters and the naysayers and the people that think I can't accomplish what I set my sights on to do. And I don't know about Canelo, but I know come fight time, he gonna be in a fight that, he wasn't gonna be expected.
For both of you guys, where does this fight rank in your careers?
It's gonna be one of the best fights in my career for sure. Like I say, he's a good fighter. He's gonna be one of the biggest fights in my career for sure.
This is the biggest fight of my career. We all know that. It's no secret. I'm fighting a Hall of Famer, one of the best Mexican fighters that come out of Mexico. So the respect is there, and I understand the magnitude of the fight, and I'm gonna give my all.
So with 6 months to go, like with the training, when does that really pick up and you guys really get to work? I know you got a fight before that, Canelo. What about for you, bud? When's that?
Well, right now,
when's the hardcore training start?
Well, right now, I'm not training hard. I'm not even training, really. I don't want to overtrain because me personally, when I go in the gym, I give my all, and I don't want to burn myself out. I want to save it all for the fight. So I'm just, chilling, doing a little strength work here and there. But other than that, my training haven't even started yet.
Yeah. What about for you, Canelo?
Training.
You're training right now?
All the 6 months. I have a fight in May, and then after that, I'm gonna maybe rest like a week and then start training again for September. Focus on what I'm doing right now. Obviously, I'm focused 100% on May because I need to take care about the fight first, and then to this happen, right? And then I need to take care about that fight and training, focus on my path.
But we know your chin is battle tested, but mostly at 147. How you think you're going to handle when he starts wielding those 10-ounce cinder blocks?
We don't know. That's the you know, the thing that excite everybody. We seen Terence Crawford hurt with Gamboa. We seen Terence Crawford stun a little bit against Mean Machine. They would say, we don't know. That's why we fight the fight. We all want to see, you know? Do I think I can take it? Yes. Have I been in the ring with bigger fighters sparring my whole life? Yes. But have I been in the ring with a Canelo type fighter? No. That's why we want to watch the fight. That's why we all want to see how great is Terence Crawford. How great can Terence Crawford take Canelo punch? That's what we want to see it for. That's what makes it so exciting and intriguing, because you got people on this side saying Terence Crawford is too small, he can't take Terence Crawford power. But then you got people on this side saying, oh, well, Canelo is going to have a problem with Terence Crawford boxing. You know, so that's why we want to fight and make it an interesting fight.
I don't think in that way, because I'm in his position before, you know, moving up in way, and at the end of the day, when you have skills, you don't need much power to handle that, right? And I'm in his position, and I think I know what is he's thinking, and that's the excited part, right? You wanna see two fighters doing the same thing in their career, like moving up in way and try to accomplish the best, and that's why it's one of the best fights out there, Terence Crawford. With Terence Crawford, because we both try to be great.
And do you think fighting the 4-pound smaller king does more for your career than facing the bigger menacing Mexican monster and David Benavidez? Do you think this fight does more for your career than fighting David Benavidez?
You can see the career of Terence Crawford or Benavidez. Terence Crawford is undisputed champion in 2 weight classes, many championship fights. So he bring me something to the table. He bring me something to the table for my history, and that's all about.
Obviously, all of us at this round table are considered GOATs. Dan, I'm gonna start with you. What does the greatest of all time mean to you?
The greatest of all time is a person who has put in the work throughout their entire career,